And we are delighted to have you with us in Cleveland. Welcome to the 2021 NFL Draft.
When I woke up this morning, my adrenaline was pumping.
What's the hardest part about the waiting game?
Waiting. Waiting, just pacing back and forth and just waiting on his name to be called. It's just very emotional. It's overwhelming. Buddy week was probably calm. My week was all over the place. This is a mother's dream, you know. Everything is going to change. Everything is going to be different. He been telling me lately, the last couple of months, we're going to be all right. I said, I know it.
So I grew up in Oak Cliff. It's in Dallas. Oak Cliff was kind of a neighborhood where, you know, people really don't make it out. My mom raised three of us, you know, three knuckleheads running around the house, me and my two oldest brothers. And, you know, she did everything she could to make sure, you know, it was food in our stomach and a roof over our heads. Growing up, there was definitely a lot of guidelines that she had just to keep us from out of trouble, because growing up where I'm from, you know, there's nothing but trouble out there. So she had to kind of, you know, censor us and, you know, help us understand why were we doing the things that we were doing.
There's things they wanted to do and I had to say no, and of course trouble is easy to get into, so I had to be strict on them. You know, I was a woman raising boys, you know, so I told them, I'm not telling you you can't go to be hard on you. I still love you, but I know that things can happen.
Before I came here, I had a best friend in high school named LD, and so he died the day that I was coming down to school. I was actually supposed to go to a party with him the night before, the night he died. My mom told me, you know, we got to hit the road early tomorrow, so just stay in. And so I stay in, and I wake up and I get a call that he didn't make it.
And he got shot and killed that night. And it's like we had to go back that same weekend. Like we wasn't in A&M more than 2-3 days before we had to come back.
When LD got killed, that's the second one of his friends that went to high school with him that end up, you know, dying in the, you know, in that kind of situation. Another one of Buddy's friends that got killed at Kimball High School. They all went out to the movies. Buddy asked me, Mama, can I go? And I said, who's all going? Because I'm a mama. So I said, who's all going? And he named 4 or 5 little boys that was going to be in this one vehicle. And we woke up that Sunday morning and that car hit a pole and everybody died.
The whole time growing up, you know, the more things that happened, the more I started to understand why. You know, I kind of thankful that she did what she did, just because, you know, everything in my neighborhood that can happen, just to prevent it from happening. You know, football was always a thing that wasn't, I would say, unsafe. My whole family really played football, so I had nothing but mentors. I always loved the game just because, you know, it's just something that kept me from doing other things and kept me out of trouble.
It started just having fun. That's what it's always supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It was just, you play football in your backyard, we might as well go play on the team and just play.
You know, other kids, they'll be out going to high school parties. Buddy wants to go practice or go start lifting weights somewhere.
I played pretty much every position my entire life. In high school, I was a starting quarterback. When I got to high school, it's kind of where the positions like actually started to, you know, narrow down to 2 or 3. I was getting recruited for linebacker and safety, so I guess my coaches, they knew they would have to start kind of developing me on the other side of the ball.
The whole time we played Little League, the coaches told Buddy the whole time, you're a linebacker. But at that time in Little League, kids don't want to be a linebacker.
The defense was where the schools was really interested in him because of how versatile he was. We took the time to work with him on his defensive skills at linebacker and safety. And when we played 7-on-7 against some of the elite competition, he fell in love with the position. Like, man, I like defense.
But when A&M came in, they told Buddy just right off the top, they said, we want you, but we don't know what position you play. Once they got him, they said, we want to recruit you as a linebacker. I told Buddy, that's for you.
Once I started getting recruited out of high school, it actually felt like, okay, this is something I can make a career out of, and, you know, I just been hitting the ground running ever since.
Yeah, I remember when he was narrowing down his schools where he was gonna go, and then we was go A&M. So So we went to A&M.
Instantly, when I came down, I instantly knew that, this was the place for me just because of the people around.
The first game he ever played against UCLA when he made the hit, everybody knew from that moment on, like A&M had something.
It really didn't hit me until, maybe my sophomore or junior year when I actually started to get a lot more playing time. Coach Fisher, he came in hot, and he would always tell me he think I can really make a big-time career profession out of this.
When I first got there, he was like a lot of young players, you know what I'm saying? He really hadn't hit his groove yet. My second year at A&M, things started to really click for him, and he was playing really well. He was very productive. I said, this guy's the total package.
I started to realize, I'm like, is that my boy? Like, he's growing. Now he's a leader of the football team. So I said, we might be somewhere one day.
That always been a dream, is to play the next level. He had a hell of a season he did this year, and when it's time to go, he had to go, and God told him to go.
He's not a talk all the time kind of guy. He's not a run his mouth kind of guy. He's a real substance guy. And the root runs really deep with him. There's no doubt in my mind, before it's over, Buddy Johnson will be one of the best linebackers to play in the NFL.
I just want to do the same thing, that my mom did for me. And, for me to be able to get back to my family, it means a lot just because my biggest motivator right now is my daughter. Her name is Aaliyah. So, every day I see her, and just to see the smile on her face, I have to do it for her because I didn't have her dad around. I don't know how it's going to work out on draft day just because, I've never had to wait like that. But, my whole life I feel like I've been waiting for this moment because I've been playing football since I was 4 years old, and now I'm 22 years old. So it's been a long journey.
Rounds 2 and 3 of the 2021 draft.
Rich, night one was all about the quarterbacks. We had those 5 quarterbacks.
I'm just excited.
Night 2 is going to be about
I said, how you feeling? I'm good. Oh, he's so calm. I'm good. I said, I'm not.
to go after those quarterbacks with a good group of defensive linemen, including some guys I believe would have gone in the first round if not for some injury concerns.
Night 1 began with 7 straight offensive players taken for the first
We're just going to take it one day at a time. I'll take it one day at a time. If it's for us, it's going to happen.
That concludes night 2 of the 2021 NFL Draft. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow at noon for rounds 4 through 7.
Today is the day. Thanks to God, we made it, and we're going to make everybody proud. I know he is, because he put a lot of hard work in, day out.
This day is a really important one for teams. 2/3 of the teams put together their rosters with players that came after the 3rd round.
Dan Moore, offensive tackle, Texas A&M.
Jabril Cox, linebacker, LSU.
It was definitely worth the wait, emotional for everyone. I'm not really an emotional guy. I don't know when it'll hit me, but I can definitely feel it on the inside. So, it was an amazing feeling. It's just the beginning for me. I'm ready to, start over and anchor down again.
It's a proud moment. It's a special moment. He knew he would be here one day.
I want my daughter to, you know, just see the type of person I am, how respectful I am, you know, how much others respect me just by being myself. If I continue to keep being who I am, then, you know, there's only nothing but greatness in front of me.